Hey, so this episode is for you if you have ever experienced burnout. I'm speaking specifically to teachers, ideally, because I was a teacher and I was very close on the verge of burnout, definitely going through a lot of stress. And looking back on it, I can see that it was definitely about to lead to burnout. So I want to focus on three key mindset shifts that I made, which really started the process of bringing me kind of back back from the depths of despair. And me overcoming burnout, it doesn't happen overnight. There are things you have to do, certain things, and you have to remind yourself every day that no matter what happened yesterday, that today is a new day. You can start again. You can continue to make the mindset shifts that you want to make, even if you didn't follow through with them yesterday. Every day is a new day. So, without really getting into too much of the crazy science behind it, the first thing that I did was I realized that making the decision to get out of bed and get up was going to set my day. So for years, I was like many of us, which was, oh, the snooze is going off. We're going to, Hey everyone, so today I'm talking specifically about avoiding burnout. Now, I was a teacher for 22 years, so I really am speaking a lot of my experience was from when I was extremely close to hitting the verge of burnout. And these are three mindset shifts that I made. I made various shifts for sure, but these are three key shifts that I made, and I really believe that they started to kind of pull me out of the depths of despair of burnout, because burnout is reversible, but you have to make changes and you have to commit to those changes, and you have to really work on your own mindset in order to allow those changes to kind of come into fruition. Now, the first key change that I made, I heard this on a podcast. I'm sure it's probably Mel Robbins' podcast. And it was all about, actually, it might not have been Mel Robbins. She has talked about this, but I heard this somewhere else because I don't even know if she had her podcast like 10 years ago. I don't think she did. Now, the idea of the first decision that you make when you get up in the morning is whether or not to hit the snooze button or to get out of bed and start your day. And this was a change. It took a little while to really adapt, but once I did, I started to realize that getting up and being like, I am going to tackle this day. I can't wait to attack this day. I can't wait for like this to happen, as opposed to, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to get out of bed. I can't believe I have to, go through another day. It just immediately sets your mindset up for, that's going to not be a great day, because the first decision you made was not even to start the day. The first decision you made was to hit the snooze button. And I do know a little bit about the science behind this, so I'm just going to very quickly explain it. But number one is when you fall back asleep after your alarm, your sleep, what they call your sleep inertia, it gets worse. So your body starts reshifting back into sleep stages. And when you wake up again, your body is very groggy and confused because you went back to sleep and it's like, what's happening? So that groggy, disoriented state, that's the sleep inertia, and it can last up to 4 hours, basically affecting your memory, your focus, and all of your, decision making, which is probably already, in a time of struggle. Number two, the snooze button confuses the brain. So each time you hit the snooze and you drift off, right, your brain is thinking that it's bedtime, and therefore it's actually starting to reduce sleep-inducing chemicals like melatonin, which take time to wear off and make you feel more tired. So you can see where I'm going with this, right? Like, it's not good to hit the snooze. It's better to get up and just start your day. Get up and be like, I'm alive today. right? This is the best thing about my day. To now, in the last year, I actually immediately put on my AirPods, my headphones, and I have a variety of videos or podcasts saved that are all about motivation for the day. So I start my day with motivation, and that is actually the second biggest mindset shift that I made. Now I actually start with that motivation straight away. It goes straight right away. I have things that I'm listening to, but back like 10 years ago when I was starting all these shifts, I would just start my day like once I was getting ready, I would listen to a motivational podcast. I learned affirmations, I learned intentions that I could use to help me take on the day, and also to help me run the day rather than the day running me, right? So I would, have these affirmations that I would say, like, this is going to be an amazing day. I'm excited to try this, or I'm excited to do this. And even now you can type on AI and you can get like a variety of affirmations for yourself. But let me try. Hey everyone. So today I am talking about burnout and the three shifts that I made as a teacher to pull me out of the depths of despair of burnout. Because I wouldn't say I was there, but I was on the precipice looking over, ready to fall into the abyss. That is where I was. And that is also when my journey into mindset started. And I am incredibly grateful for that, because that is what definitely started to pull me out of the depths. And I want to share with you today three shifts that I made that took some time, but once I started making them, they made a massive difference. And I want to preface this by saying that only you can do this. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to do this for you. You have to make the commitment in your head to shift the way that you talk to yourself, shift your thoughts, shift your decisions, because once you commit to even one decision, and that is what I would encourage you to do. Everything that I share with you, think about, what are any of these? Could I make this one change and just start there? And recognizing that no matter what happened yesterday, today is a new day. Today you can start again. Today you can continue to make the shifts that you have been making, even though you didn't make that shift yesterday. It doesn't matter. You are always in control of the day. And because you are in control of your mindset, I shouldn't say you're in control of the day, but you're in control of your mindset and how you react and process, and your attitude towards the day, how you think of things, what you focus on, where your mind is going, right? Are you, if it's an overwhelming day, are you practicing your breathing techniques, the tapping, um, the way that you're speaking to yourself? So the first major shift that I made was learning, and I cannot for the life of me remember where I learned this, but learning that hitting the snooze button is the worst thing you can do in the morning, because it looks at the fact that your first decision in the morning is, I do not want to start this day. And I know as a mindset coach that your first decision in the morning, if you can get to the point where your first decision is, let's get up and let's tackle this day. And I'm so grateful that I have another day. Once you get to that point, and like I said, it's not going to happen overnight, it takes time. But once you get to that point, things radically start to shift and you start to get more, positive energy comes into your life because you are starting off with, oh my God, this is gonna be an amazing, amazing day. And I learned as well recently, actually, that when you hit the snooze button, I didn't know this at the time, but I just want to go back for a second also and say that the way I did this is I have an old phone and I use that as my alarm. But even if you're using your regular phone as your alarm, or you want to get like just an alarm clock, I put it at on the opposite side of the room, so I actually have to get up in order to turn the alarm off. And that pushes my brain into a state of, oh, we're up. Awesome. Let's do this. Let's get going. I'm not going to lie and say I have never crawled back into bed. There have been times that I have done that for sure. But then the next day, I just do it again. I just get up again and I try to stick to my morning routine as much as I can. And that is, what it is. I get up and I turn off the alarm and then I get on my day and I'm like, I'm excited to start this day. And I recently was going to tell you, I learned that hitting the snooze button. So here's a little bit of science behind it for you. That when you hit the snooze button, right? Because we all know it's that inner voice that's talking to you and being like, no, you can crawl into bed. It's okay. You can get it. You need more sleep. And in fact, like you most likely don't, but you have to combat that voice, right? But basically, when you hit the snooze button, what happens is you get sleep inertia. Okay, so let me explain this to you. So when you fall back asleep after your alarm, you basically begin a new sleep cycle, which confuses your brain completely. And your body starts shifting into deeper sleep stages. And then when you're woken up again mid-cycle, your brain is super groggy and confused and disoriented. And that is called sleep inertia. And it can last up to 4 hours, which affects your memory, focus, and decision making. And most importantly, how many cups of coffee you are actually drinking, but may not actually need. And at the same time that this is happening, your brain is thinking it's bedtime, and then it releases sleep-inducing chemicals like melatonin that take time to wear off, and it makes you tired when you actually do get up. Now, the last thing is it messes with your circadian rhythm. I'm not going to go too much into that, but your circadian rhythm is basically like your internal clock that regulates your sleep and your hormones, your alertness, things like that. And when you fall back asleep repeatedly, it throws off that rhythm and it can lead to energy crashes later in the day, which is extremely common with teachers for sure. So that is one thing I did is I made the conscious mindset shift to be like, no, the first decision I'm going to make is to be grateful that I have another day and to get up and start this day. And it doesn't take long for my brain to be like, okay, cool, let's do this. I do a little bit of like yoga or whatever, and we get going on the day. The second big mindset shift that I made, is starting my day with motivation. So once I started getting ready after my morning routine and my shower and all that, I would put on a motivational podcast. I would put on a motivational YouTube video. I would start learning about like anything that was going to motivate me to either be better in terms of learning or just motivate my mind to be like, yes, I am so grateful that I have another day. Instead of listening to anything negative, I made an extremely conscious decision not to implement anything negative into my mind. Nothing. No news. I never watch the news ever. And basically anything that I felt was going to like choke weeds in the garden of my mind was not happening. So that was a conscious mindset shift that I made. And there is so many amazing podcasts and videos out there that you can listen to that are motivational. The third big mindset shift that I made that I'm incredibly grateful that I made was learning how to do something or asking for help on how to do it. I never took a ton of time to try and figure something out myself. Because in the beginning, when I was a younger teacher, I didn't want to ask for help. I was trying to figure out how to do things on my own, and that was taking a heck of a lot of time. Once I got over the once I got into the later years, I would not for a second, if something could not be done quickly, I would ask myself, could this be done quickly? Let me find out. And I would Google, and boom, there was like a shortcut, or there was a video, or there was like, this is how you do it. And I would watch it and I would figure it out. Never try to make it complicated. If it was complicated, I was like, there has to be an easier way to do this. And there was always. No, I shouldn't say always, like 90% of the time. Or I would ask someone how to do it. Or I would ask them to teach me how to do it instead of asking them to do it for me. Because if they do it for me, that still doesn't give me the skill on how to do it. That was the third biggest mindset shift that I made. So to recap, first decision, getting up and being grateful for the day. And like, I have another day. I'm alive. I can't wait to do something special on this day. When I was teaching, even, it was just like affirmations and intentions. The second one was the motivation. So let me just read you a couple of like affirmations or intentions that I used as a teacher to start the day. Basically, yeah, here's just a couple. I'm not responsible for fixing everything. I focus on what I can control. Today, I'm going to focus on what I can control. I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to breathe through everything. Whatever happens, I'm going to just breathe. I honor my energy. I'm allowed to set boundaries. Then intentions would be like, today I will pause before reacting to students or emails or stress. I will drink water, breathe deeply, and move my body today as much as I can. I will ask for help if I need it, right? I don't have to do this alone. And I loved learning how to do something. If I could figure it out and be like, oh my gosh, I've made something so much easier for myself, it was a massive win. And there you have it. Those are the three major mindset shifts that I made. And I just want to remind you that you are fully in control of doing this. You can set up just one change to help you get on the road to recovery from being overwhelmed, being stressed, being close to burnout, or in the stages of burnout. You have to set those boundaries. And the next video I'm going to do is all about setting boundaries. I'm doing 3 different videos, one on diet, one on boundaries, and one on, this mindset. All right, guys, if you have any questions, anything, please let me know. If you have an idea for a video, you want to be on my podcast / YouTube video channel, whatever it is. Yeah, YouTube channel. Like and subscribe, obviously, and have an amazing day. Bye.